In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the pop-up Lovebirds card. As you can see here, there are two birds. As you open the card, the heads move together and move two hearts closer together. As usual, go to creativepopupcards.com and print out the template. Now, after you cut out the parts, the first thing to do is to fold up some of these sections as shown here. This is what I'm doing. I'm folding the bodies of the birds inwards and then the wings upwards. You also will cut out the two tails of the birds, and this is what the tail looks like. You can fold it in half and then fold the tabs outwards. This is a close-up of what the tail looks like. So the next step is to glue the bodies together. You want to make sure that you only glue the bottom part of the body. Don't glue the heads together because you'll be attaching those hearts or other items between the beaks. So just glue the bottom parts of the bird. So what I'm doing now is I'm removing the card from the rest of the card stock, and I'm going to fold the center of the card. Now you might want to try to fold the card first before gluing the bodies together. Otherwise it's a little bit hard to align. As you can see here, it was a little bit misaligned, so I'm going to re-glue this section. Now it should fold properly. So make sure when you fold the card, it folds flat and that everything is perfectly aligned. Okay, the next step is to create the backing of the card. I'm using a pink cardstock, and I want to cut two pieces, which are 6 1/4 inches by 4 1/2. I'm cutting the card lengthwise to get the 6 1/4 inch dimension, and then I'm going to be cutting two sections off at about 4 1/2 inches. This is the first section. Make sure you keep track of which edge, which of the two edges match. So when you glue these sections to your center white card, that those two edges will also match, like so. Okay, now you want to glue these two sections to your main card. I'm going to glue this on top of a white sheet of paper so that the extra glue will stay on the paper and not get on my cutting board. I'm using an Elmer's glue to glue the edges, which is a little bit stronger, and then I'm going to use a glue stick to glue the center part of the card, and this will hopefully reduce the amount of warping the card will have from the Elmer's glue. Anyway, you want to be careful and make sure that you align the outside card to the inside fold, the center fold. Okay, now let's glue the other section. Now I'm using a new sheet of paper in the back so that I don't get any of the glue onto the card. Again, I'm using Elmer's glue for the edges, and then a glue stick for the center of the card. And take off any extraneous pieces of glue. Okay, again, align the cardstock to the center fold. You want to make sure that it's properly aligned to the center fold, so when you open it, it opens properly, like so. Now you may have noticed that the edges were not perfectly, the side edges and the top and bottom edges weren't perfectly aligned. You could trim off the edges a few millimeters, and this will align both of the center white cardstock and the outer pink card. Okay, the next step is to glue the tails on. Now you've already folded the tails. You want to put the glue on the small tabs and then glue it behind the bird. Both of these tails are identical, so you could use either tail for either bird. And make sure it folds flat. Okay, now I'm going to show you what this looks like in a close-up. This is what the section looks like glued in, the tail. Okay, now we're almost done. Make sure everything folds flat, and then choose what you want to put in the bird's beak. I have a couple different variations of the I love you or the heart. You could also put your name. You could have the two birds bring the names together. But in this example, I'm going to use the simple hearts. Okay, so again, luckily we did not glue the beaks together, so we could slide in the little hearts between the beaks. You want to put the parts in there, open and close the card a few times and make sure it aligns properly. And then once you're satisfied with the way it looks, then you could dab a little bit of glue in there to permanently affix the items in the bird's beaks. So this is what it looks like. Thank you for visiting my website and watching creativepopupcards.com.